I sat there, staring at the question, and my brain just stopped working. Not tired, not distracted, just empty. It was calculus, a simple math, and the worst part, I knew I could do it, but I couldn't. This isn't burnout, this is something else. Because this feeling, it didn't start that moment. It started the day I began to rely on AI. When I was in 9th grade, I used to study really hard. Every day I used to practice, I used to work hard, I trusted myself. But on exam, something small happened. One hard question, it was the first question. I couldn't solve it. Instead of trying, I just copied the answer from one of my friends. Just one question, that's it. Something inside my brain shifted. I felt like my brain just stopped working. My confidence disappeared instantly. My mind went completely blank. I couldn't solve a single question by myself. Question I knew how to solve suddenly felt impossible. I sat there staring at the question and feeling lost. That one decision broke my momentum. I broke my trust in myself, and then exact feeling that what using AI feels nowadays. Your brain completely stopped working. We were never taught to understand. We were taught to score 95 plus. That was the goal, that was the identity. Not the struggle, not the thinking, not actually knowing why something works. Just marks, hours of classes, homework, lab report, assignment, and most of it was never about learning. It was about producing the correct answer under pressure, and at the end of it all, no feedback at all. Just a number, a rank, that's it. So naturally, we learned something else. We learned to avoid the struggle, we learned to avoid confusion, we learned to avoid thinking too long. Because thinking doesn't get rewarded, the answer does. And slowly, we stopped chasing understanding, and now AI enters. They are saying that AI is making us smarter. AI doesn't make things harder so you can grow. It removes difficulty entirely. It gives the answer instantly, clean, confident, no confusion, no effort. But understanding was never built in clarity. It was built in confusion, in getting stuck, in trying again, in failing, and in rethinking. The struggle is not the noise in the process, that is the process. AI works by predicting the most likely next word based on patterns from a massive amounts of human text. It doesn't think, it doesn't understand, it just generates what statistically fits best. So when you use it, you are not seeing the truth, you are seeing most probable version of an answer, fast, smooth, convincing. But the more you rely on AI that removes the struggle, the less your mind has to do it. And thinking doesn't disappear suddenly, it fades quietly as you stop needing it. People see ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude burning millions and billions of dollars, like GPT 400 million just to train Gemini Ultra 191 million, and Claude unknown. Anthropic CEO says current models already take $1 billion to train, just to train. Remember, and here you are using it freely daily and ask a stupid question like write me a rap song about sad potato for free. So let's be real, why the hell would anyone burn billions of dollars so that you can skip write your own email? Not charity, not democratizing AI, and definitely not because they love you. It's a strategy, simple. You log in, you ask questions, you think you are using free tool. Nah, you are the part of the scale. Free users bring traffic, feedback, and pressure to taste the system. And the model itself is like a cheap fast food that delivers you in the door so that you can buy more in later. Remember, when something is free, that means you are the product. Here is what hit hard. You ask one question, then another, then another. No waiting, no effort, no friction. Slowly, your patience for digging disappears. Your habit of thinking, think through, get weaker. Because why struggle when the answer is right there? And yeah, sometimes it gets things completely wrong. Not just completely wrong, confidently wrong. It'll make things up like it's a fact. AI actually doesn't know anything. It predicts word, that's it. Sound smart doesn't mean it understands. The real danger, you stop thinking because the answer came too fast and sounded just convincing enough. Medicine for your body body, therapy for your mind, gym for your muscle, sleep for your recovery. But AI for what? They say revolutionize, they say democratize, they say the future of work. Let's be real here. They invested billions, so we can ask, what's 12% of 1250? Not a revelation. That's a calculator with a PR budget. Here is quite psychological damage nobody talks about. Suppose you ask, how much should I sell my used laptop? AI says 420 based on market trends. Instant answer, but here is what didn't happen. You didn't check eBay by yourself. You didn't consider your laptop has a weird scratch on the corner. You didn't learn anything about pricing of used electronics. And now you trust the number. You listed it at 420. It sits there for 3 weeks. You feel confused. AI said 420 though. You forgot. AI doesn't know your situation. It never saw the scratch. It doesn't know. It doesn't know you need crashed by Friday. It doesn't know your local market is dead. It doesn't know you. But it sounds confident. And that's the trap. The slow death of your own reasoning. First, it's small things like laptop price, recipe substitutions, movie recommendation. Then medium things like, is this pain serious? Should I take this job offer? Is my relationship toxic? Then big things like, what's the meaning of life? Should I have kids? Is it time to leave? And at no point did you stop and ask, does this thing even know me? No. It knows patterns, it knows average, it knows statistically a typical person in your demographic might want. But you are not an average, you are not a pattern, you are a specific messy human with a specific messy context that no model has ever seen. And the worst part, it gives you reason, price, or a decision, but it never gives you your reason. It gives you logical reason, but a fake cause. You nod and say, makes sense, without realizing, yeah, medicine for body, therapy for mind, AI for outsourcing your thinking until there's nothing left to outsource. Use it like a calculator, not consciousness. Because the second you stop asking, but does that actually fit my life? You are not being controlled, you are just gone. When you achieve speed, you lose depth. When you achieve convenience, you lose confidence. When you achieve effortless answer, then you lose your ability to ask good question. A student in 2025 got direct AI answer letter test without AI performed significantly worse, but they believe they learned more. Delusion included free. MIT Media Lab. Brain activity while writing with AI is done by mode. No neural engagement. Ask them to rewrite from memory an hour later. Couldn't remember what they wrote. The student can't do anything anymore. The BS advice that AI gives you. Lawyers filed brief citing cases that never existed. Students submitted essay about books that aren't even real. Reporters quoted people who never spoke. It sounds confident, so you believe it. AI doesn't know your situation. AI doesn't increase productivity. It creates dependency with a smiley emoji. AI isn't controlling you. It makes you dependent on not thinking by yourself. And that's even worse. You don't notice until you are gone. A 15-year-old boy math homework. He opens chatgpt and types, solve this for me. AI says, here x is equal to 5, here are 3 different methods. Very easy, you are welcome. Boy feels good. Fast, clean, no struggle. Next day, same problem on a quiz. He stares. He couldn't solve it. He knew the answer yesterday. He typed it himself, but the brain is empty. He writes x is equal to 5 and prays. But he doesn't know how. He doesn't know why. He just knows the number that robot gave him. Of course, teachers marks it wrong because the problem was 2x plus 5 is equal to 15 on paper, but on quiz it was 3x plus 4 is equal to 19. Same shape, different numbers, and the boy he never learned the shape. He just memorized the answer. He walks home, quiet, opens ChatGPT one more time, not to ask a question, but to ask himself, if I can't solve a problem without you, do I even know it? Or you just know it for me? He closed the tab. For the first time in months, he touches a pencil. Not because AI failed him, but because AI never let him try. And trying is where thinking starts. Never let AI do your thinking.